Welcome back to our podcast. My sister is a Karen. I'm Jennifer, and this is my sister Karen.
Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome. This is what we talk about when you hear someone say with a smirk, like, I have to go call my sister right now. It's all the truth, unfiltered, ridiculous, and authentic conversations that everyone wants to hear because they're hilarious, honestly.
We have some really good stories in this podcast. But before we get to that, let's check in. Karen, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you coloring? Oh, you got out an old creative hobby.
Yes, I had a rough week. So, I mean, you know that already because, I've talked to you many times, but I did have a rough mental health week. We've talked a little bit and we will continue and we'll talk more, but I have to be really careful and I have to, I can't just have lazy days where I stay in bed because then my body will start thinking we're depressed and it will start being depressed. So I make a huge effort. So I pulled out my resin coasters, and so far, basically, I've just been making a whole bunch of royal stuff. Like I've been having so much fun because I have instead of gold leaf, I have some silver leaf, and I can put it in with little car coasters. And I have been continuing to do my walks with the dog. Yeah, still doing some coloring and still a little bit of writing, but mostly the resin. I just love creating stuff on it. And I don't need to have 55 million coasters, but I sure love making them.
That's great. Um, No, I'm glad that you're, working on it. I know it was a tough week. Some weeks are like that. We actually both for different reasons. I mean, it was a really long week for both of us. I traveled for work. I traveled Monday through Friday, which I don't usually do. It was a very long, extended long days every day. And I mean, we still found time to chat and to check in with each other. But I was really glad the other day when you said that you had gotten the resin out. I thought that was a great idea. So I'm glad you did
Yeah,
that. Plus, I mean, coasters for me.
exactly. And you should have seen mom's face when I was like, "Oh, I did something." She was like, "Upstairs, you did?" What? And I'm like, "I covered everything. I used my own furniture in case there was a spill." She's like, "Okay, because if you spill," I'm like, "I know, I'm not going to spill it upstairs. I promise."
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody wants to send mom into a tizzy about the furniture.
No, yeah.
That's funny. Let's get to the topic at hand. Today, it's about to be swimsuit season, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So,
Yes. We love summer. We love Royals baseball. I tell people, I'm like, I am a pool whore. If you have a pool, I will be your friend and I'll bring snacks and shit. Like, I just want to hang out at the pool or the beach, either one. So we are really going to talk first about the hilarity of swimsuit struggles that I think every woman can understand a little bit.
an adult, adult body anyway, and he has had an adult body for a long time. Men have more struggles with swimsuits than I realized. I don't know that that's unique to my son or not, but swimsuit shopping can be challenging for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do love swimming shopping for swimsuits. Not because I love the way my body looks in them. It's nothing like that. It's just I spent most of my life living in places where we had winter, we had four seasons, the Midwest. And when the swimsuits come out at Target, I suddenly have a pep in my step. Like I'm just like, oh my God, the swimsuits are out. It's about to be summer, pool. I'm like, Karen, I will go to the pool all day, every day if I can. And I have at times in my life when that was available to me. I love swimsuits. It's just like the symbol of it.
Yeah.
We spent our summers at the pool growing up. Like we didn't have a lot of money, and the house that we grew up in, our mom would wait to turn the air conditioner on until July 4th, and she would justify that by paying for a pool membership at the private pool in our neighborhood. I don't know what the pool membership cost, but she felt like the cost of paying for that in May covered the air conditioning for May and June, and that's how she could make that happen.
Yes,
So
because we
it
had
was
to
hot.
turn it on for the 4th of July because my asthma would act up with all the fireworks.
Yes. Yes. And it was we were raised in Kansas City. Like it was hot in May, June,
Yes.
and the first few days of July. It was hot those days.
And
So our
we
mom usually, sometimes she had a job where she worked in the mornings, but she was home by like noon or something. And then other times, just like different times in our lives, our mom's schedule was different. Sometimes she went back to school, to college. And again, like the schedule was weird, but we spent literally 6 days a week at that pool. It was closed one day a week. And the movie theaters, do you remember this? The movie theaters had like dollar movies. And
yes.
so we would go to the dollar movies the day, like I think it was Monday that the pool was closed. I don't think that was our mom's favorite day of the week for sure. Because on top of that, it offset the air conditioning expense. It also made us all tired. And so we slept really well. And, we didn't like drive her crazy all day. But
We
Aaron,
we were at the pool so much. I was like a towhead blonde. Like when I was little, my
yes,
hair was like what yours is now. And by about the 4th of July, but for sure by school, my blonde hair was green from all the chlorine.
all of us. We all had green hair. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if they really had like clarifying shampoos back then or if we just couldn't afford it, but we all had green hair by the end of the summer. And all of
Well,
our hair,
we probably didn't come home and get in the shower because like mom would have been like, go shower and clean. I just was in the pool. I'm clean.
we definitely did that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Not only that, but do you remember Mike, our brother? Oh, he had like spiky hair back then, and the spikes were like this weird yellow, orange, green shade, but then like the sides of his hair where it was shorter was dark. Like we all weird things were happening to all of our hair. And
Yes.
also though, shout out to our mom because we were the only kids at Redgate Pool, I feel like we were the only kids that had to get out of the pool every adult swim and put like freaking sunscreen on again. Shout out to our mom for being an OG with the sunscreen because nobody else was really using it back then. And
No.
people didn't really understand the importance of it, skin cancer, etc. Like it just wasn't a conversation at all. But I look like this at this age because of the sunscreen that mom was like slathering on us every
Yes.
adult swim.
Well, and I remember as a kid, mom was like, she told it. I always thought, I was like, oh no, my mom gets like physically sick if she gets too sunburned because if she does, she'll get like sunburn sickness. But I mean, we were lathering up and the teenagers were oiled up and like sizzling cooking. I mean, that was like the era of baby oil. And instead we're like, and I mean, and I remember like, fighting and being like, come on. And mom's like, no. And she would like with me when I would be like, I don't even need it. I'm fine. I've been swimming all summer. And, like I went to the pool yesterday with Holman's and they didn't make me put it on or whatever. But mom would always be like, no, like it's really important and you can actually get sick.
Yeah, I can remember telling mom, like, no, I don't want to wear sunscreen because I want to get a tan. First of all, this does not tan. Okay. It does, like, my skin does change color over like the summer. I don't know that you could say it's tan. Anyway, I can remember being like, I just want to get a tan. And I was looking at like, remember we had those one neighbors, like, and those girls like got beautifully dark. I don't know if they were Greek or what, like their heritage was, but they got beautifully dark. I wanted to look like them. Well, I could
Yes.
never. I could never. Like mom literally saved me from wrinkles, from skin cancer, from like so many things. And it was fight. I mean, our mom had to fight. There were four of us out there at the pool resisting the sunscreen, and then she put the sunscreen on us, and we were slippery. So it
Yes.
was a fight for her. Like in hindsight, I don't even know why she did it.
I,
I don't
right.
know if it
Like
was
just
worth
let us
it.
burn. Well, and do you remember like we don't tan? I
No.
worked at a tanning salon when I was in high school, and so I could tan for free and could use like the accelerators and all that stuff. And I still like people will be like, I'm like, this is as dark as I get. And they're like, I mean, you're not blinding white anymore, but you're not tan. I mean, even when, and I was terrible then. I would like lay in the tanning bed and it would kick off. And instead of even getting up, I'd be like, Missy, will you hit the button and give me another 30 minutes? Like,
No. Yeah.
we were yeah, I didn't work there very long, but yeah, I mean, we just are not made to be
No.
out in the sun without
No.
sunscreen
And
and
it's
protection.
interesting because we all are really kind of sun worshipers as far as like spending time at pools, spending time, like I've talked before about how much I love hiking. We do all like that, but we're probably not really like physiologically intended to be in that much sunlight, but we do it. But
Right.
anyway, we digress a little. So,
Yes.
swimsuit, we're going to talk about swimsuit shopping. And
So go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, because this is like from here up that you see us, you don't realize, well, I mean, half of the people that are listening know us, but the other half don't. And you don't realize
Like, let
how,
me show you what I'm working with. Okay. This is, it's a lot. It's literally like my boobs are so big. I outgrew Victoria's Secret by my junior year in high school. They literally did not have bras in my size. Swimsuit shopping was found a place where I used to have to go and get measured and get my swimsuits custom made so that we could find something that would fit me. And so I did that for a while. And those were great, but they also were very expensive. And it's also like really stressful to me. Like, okay, so this is the swimsuit I'm going to have for the next like 3 years. What pattern do I mean, like all of that was so stressful. So for me, I
I was
was
just
so
going to say, like, when you compare, like, the way that you have to swimsuit shop and you end up with one swimsuit for 2 or 3 years. And then our other sister and I can shop off the rack. Granted, we don't buy the same top and bottom size. We buy, but we can shop off the rack and we would show up for family vacations. And between Megan and my daughter and I, there would be like more than 15 swimsuits between the three of us. And we would just like every day be in a different swimsuit. Like sometimes I'd go to the beach in the morning in one swimsuit, I'd go in the afternoon in a different swimsuit, and I'd go after dinner in a third swimsuit. And Karen is like, mine isn't dry yet, so I can't put it back on yet. And I'm like, oh my God, we got to wait on Karen.
I mean, sometimes I did have extra bottoms that I could buy that would just, like I would just buy like solid color
Yeah,
bottoms
you
that
can
would
buy
match.
bottoms off the rack.
Yes. Yeah. But for a long time, I did not get to buy off the rack. And it also made it like we said, I mean, we really like, I don't like lakes. I don't like lakes.
The reason we're not lake people.
No, but I love the ocean and I
Mhm.
love a chlorinated pool. So it was also like it sucked because I couldn't go do a lot of that stuff. So then when I'm very thin, and Target now sometimes I am able to find, well, not now, but sometimes I can buy off the rack now that there's a lot more inclusivity. Still not a regular thing. So the first time that I bought a swimsuit off the rack, I was like in my late 20s. I was feeling really good. I was so excited. That was when they first, because they didn't always sell. You had to buy like the set, which made it, hard for everyone. But me, I'm like, well, I need like the top and like a checks, and then I need like medium bottoms. So I bought this really cute teal swimsuit. It was like a halter. So it tied, the knot would hurt the back of my neck because my boobs were so heavy. But whatever, I was so thrilled. I'm like, look at me.
Like it's all like people who don't wear halter top or like men, they have no idea. It actually like it can cause neck.
It does. So I'm in my cute swimsuit. My roommate and I were having a pool party with a bunch of people that we worked with. And I was playing beach volleyball. Again, I'm thinking I'm like hot shit. I go to spike the ball and my swimsuit top goes up, but my boob doesn't. And the opposing team, the assistant manager of the furniture store that I worked at, was like doing this gesture like Karen and like trying to get my attention. I literally was like, okay, cool Hawaiian shirt, James. And then my friend David was like, he just looks over, he goes, your titty's hanging out the bottom. Did you know that? Nope, sure didn't. I'd been at this job, by the way, for like 3 weeks. Also, so like these people don't. What'd you say?
Been for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I had not been there for very long at all. My roommate had worked
You
there for a
only
long
been
time.
working there for 3 weeks.
Yeah. My roommate had worked there a long
God,
time and she was like, oh, this will be so fun. We're going to have a pool party. It'll be like a welcome to the crew.
you initiated everybody.
Yeah. I welcomed everyone.
My God.
I mean, the most hilarious part to me was just like, the one guy trying to be like discreet and like, and I'm like, whatever.
Oh my God, that's so funny. So I don't have anything that compares to that, but like in the ocean, none of your swimsuit stays where, like when you put your swimsuit on at the house or the hotel or wherever, nothing stays where it was when you're in the ocean. And I mean, I've had a number of like nip slips. Like I am playing in the ocean, I come out and I have my underwear's like a thong. I didn't mean for it to be like I have like those things happen all the time, but I don't have anything like that. But I will say, oh, go ahead.
When you go off like the diving boards, does that,
You just have to hold on to everything and pray.
because I don't even do diving boards because I'm like, these can't be put back in public. That's a private thing. Like, it's not just a quick move it over.
The kids were little, and I had on a swimsuit that fit more like a sports bra. Like it was really, it felt like it was really secure. Like it had tank top strap. It wasn't like a triangle that you tied. Like it was actually really hard to get on and off kind of thing. And I, the kids were little. They're like, "Mom, go off the diving board." I'm like checking, patting myself, and I'm like, "This is pretty secure. Like, I think I'll be okay." No, it was not okay. It was not at all. And then let me tell you, so this is the closest thing I have to your volleyball story. So, like 2 or 3 years ago, I went on a work trip to Aruba. It was like, I had won the trip, but it with work people. My daughter's with me. I took her as my plus one. And we went snorkeling in the ocean near Aruba, and we're all on the boat, and you have to, well, some people were jumping off the side of the boat to, like, they would get all their snorkel gear on and they'd jump off. But I was like, there's a ladder. I'm going to ladder it down into here. Because if you have on like a life jacket, the snorkel,
Yeah.
hose, and I was like, these people, like, how are you going to readjust your swimsuit top under your life jacket when you jump off the boat? Like, I don't know how they were doing that. And I looked around and like the VP of sales is there, and like all these like you know, higher up. And I was like, I barely wanted to get in my bathing suit in front of senior leadership, much less like jump off the side of a boat and pray to God that everything stays where it belongs. No, thank you. Like, absolutely not. So Lucille and I laddered down, like we did the slow and cautious into the water, and everything was fine. Like we had carefully selected our swimsuits for that day, and the snorkeling went fine. But yeah, it was a risk. The other thing, like in our family, again, like we already mentioned the sunscreen, and I'm pretty famous in our family for being persistent about the sunscreen because I am grateful to our mom for making us do it when we were younger. I do feel like I've aged better than I would have with all the sun exposure over the years if I hadn't been diligent. But two, I've had like a basal cell cancer on my nose. It's been a while ago, but I have already had something. So I'm pretty particular about it. And if you can believe it, my children are even more fair than I am. So that's a whole other thing. But when you sunscreen yourself, you have to be thinking like, even in the pool, if I'm wearing a swimsuit that ties around the neck and ties here, it still doesn't stay. Where even in just like a regular pool, it still doesn't stay. Like the water has an impact. There's a force. So I will like move my swimsuit as far, dangerously far, and I'll like lather on sunscreen here. Then I move it this direction, again, dangerously far. My kids, I'll be like, pull the bottoms away from your butt. I'm going to spray sunscreen down.
Yeah. When we were on vacation, we were at the Outer Banks in North Carolina, which was gorgeous. And the house that we rented had a little fenced in pool. So we're out in the pool and there are workmen there digging a well or some nonsense. Jennifer is reapplying her sunscreen. And when she tells you she moves her swimsuit like all out of I was like, do you do you think that your butt crack is gonna get sunburned? What are you doing with the bottoms? And then I was like, she's spraying and she's getting it all in there. Lucy, I was like, Lucy, what? And she's like, I know she violated me this morning. Lucy's like, but it's fine. I won't sunburn. Do you know there are guys
Small
over there?
child.
This is what she says. I'm a doctor. You're welcome. Because you were like standing, like not thinking that there's people that can see, just thinking it's like and not even our brother was out there. Like you're just thinking it's like me, Lucille, like, people that totally whatever. And you're like getting all, I was like, are you concerned your crotch is going to get sunburned? Like, how are you laying out? You're like, I got to get it up to the lie.
Work. Okay.
But you didn't really have a sunburn. So
I haven't been sunburned in years. My kid, Lucille, was probably 12 or 13 the first time that she got a sunburn, and she's like so white. She's white, like white.
she's like peaches and cream complexion though. Like
Yes,
because
yes,
she
gorgeous.
has taken.
Yeah, gorgeous complexion. Sam also has a gorgeous complexion. But they are both even. They don't freckle like I do, which most of my coloring comes from my freckles. But yeah, they both of them went years and years and years without ever being sunburned. And again, like we spent every day at the pool when I was in grad school, stuff like that. So I took the kids. Remember a couple years ago, I took the kids to Cancun in Mexico.
Yes.
We went there for Christmas one year, and I was like, okay, so first of all, the hotel was really affordable in Mexico. Like I remember at the end of the vacation, I was like checking out and I was trying to do the like translation from pesos to dollars. And I was like, can't be right. It couldn't have been that low of an expense. And then like, it hit my credit card the next day or whatever. And I was like, we could go there all the time. So the hotel was inexpensive. We bought tickets on points because I'd been traveling a lot that year, the airfare tickets. So it was really like a very cheap vacation for us. And we spent like 5 or 6 days in Cancun. So as we were leaving, Lucille is a bigger nut job about sunscreen than I am, if I'm honest. And so we're like packing, she's packing from another state because she was in college. And she's like, Mom, like sunscreen. I go, we're going to buy sunscreen at the hotel. Like, I'm not going to travel with 80 pounds of sunscreen. It's unrealistic. It's going to like leak in the suitcases. It'll ruin the vacation. Like, I know it'll cost like $16 for a bottle of sunscreen, but we're going to buy it at the hotel. Like, that's just what we're going to do. No lie. 2 cans of sunscreen per day is no lie. To clarify, my son has a big body. My son is like built like a linebacker. Like he's like six
Yes.
two and like 245. He is a big kid. And we spent almost every day either laying on the sand or laying next to the pool. The pool overlooked the ocean anyway. So like we spent all day, every day like that. 2 cans of sunscreen a day. I'm not.
Well, we also like when we were at Outer Banks, we would use more like I would wear like a swim shirt, but you and Lucille were like, we got really cute swimsuits. Like we're just gonna lather up and not cover our.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, when Lucille was like, yeah, she violated me this morning, she was probably like, well, I mean, do it again because I can't get up there.
Oh. It was like choices were made. I didn't want to wear my swim shirt. So, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
we do. I didn't think about that though. We have invested a lot of money in like SPF 50 swim shirts and like hats that have SPF in them. Like we do have a lot of gear that has swim or sun protection in it as well. So it's not even always just the sunscreen. Like sometimes but I'll put on sunscreen in the bedroom before I even put the swim shirt on. So I still have sunscreen on.
Yes. Well, I always put sunscreen like what I do to avoid your like moving everything around before I put my suit on, like as I'm changing, sunscreen up and then put the
Yeah.
suit on.
Yeah, you really almost have to if you're going to be like a lake or an ocean, like a natural body of water, or even like a lazy river, like you really have to because the force of the water will shift everything around. And I mean, most of my sunburns in the last 10 years have been like there's a little strip of a sunburn right here, or like at the
Yes.
top of my waist, there's a little strip of a sunburn because I missed a section and the swimsuit shifted and I didn't anticipate that. So you do like for me, like I always feel like I almost have to put my swimsuit on while I'm still undressed, or sorry, put my sunscreen on while I'm still undressed, then put my swimsuit on, but then I do another layer because
Yeah.
I'm just like not willing to be sunburned. I'm not like the aging consequence, but honestly, the skin cancer consequence got really real when I had that basal cell a couple years ago.
That was yeah, I remember right like a few days after you had it. That's when I was like coaching soccer. So I don't know what I was doing, but my face was sunburned and I like sent you a picture and was like, look, like my face is all sunburned. And you like sent back a picture of your nose and you're like, this is what a sunburn does. Sunscreen. I mean, because I was just like, I can't believe. I mean, it was one of those early season, like early in the spring where I was like, I did not realize I had to put sunscreen on. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and you literally you were like, these are the consequences.
Not gonna lie, I would say the basal, I had Mohs surgery to dig the basal cell out. So what presented on my nose was the size of a pimple. And I saw it. I actually ironically saw it one year when we were in Pensacola. That I was like, oh, I have a little pimple on my nose, and for family vacation. And I went home. The pimple didn't. I think it did kind of come and go a little bit. And then I was like, this is weird because it's been here for a month now. It did go, but it came back in the exact same spot. It's the exact same size. Like there's nothing weird about it, and there's not like a white head or anything. And so I had it for like a month. And then one day I was like getting out of the shower and, with the towel, I just went like this and it bled. And instantly, as soon as it bled, I was like, that's basal cell. So at the time I worked with some ENTs and I have a friend who, I mean, I don't talk to him a ton, but one of the ENTs who I used to work with once upon a time in my career, he's also a board certified facial plastic surgeon, and skin cancers is kind of one of his specialties. So I texted him a photo of it and I was like, I think I have basal cell cancer. And he was like, oh, and I said, I think I have basal cell cancer. And he goes, why do you think that? And I go, well, it bled when I got out of the shower this morning. He's like, go get it removed right away. So he was right. I had basal cell cancer. I do the punch biopsy. They send it off, confirm that it's basal cell. Now I have to go see a dermatologist, get the Mohs surgery. Mohs is an acronym and I forgot what it stands for, but basically what they do is they remove the thing, then you go sit in the waiting room while they test the margin to make sure that there's no, like, that they have non-cancerous skin at the edge of all of everything that they remove. They had to come back 3 times and get me out of the waiting room and dig around some more. It was apparently basal cell, and I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but my understanding is basal cell can kind of like finger out under the skin. And that's the risk of it, is you have this tiny little pimple-sized thing that presents, but underneath it, it's like an iceberg. It's much, much bigger and it can kind of like grow fingers or legs, whatever. So they came back and got me like 3 times and kept removing it. And then at the end of the thing, they were like, it was like, I don't remember the measurements, but whatever the measurements were, I was like, really? That's totally unexpected. So additionally, the Mohs surgery was miserable. Like I would say that in general, I have a pretty high pain tolerance. The Mohs surgery was very miserable. And I had to drive an hour to get to the place to have it. And they didn't tell me to have somebody, they were like, yeah, you can drive yourself. I was dying driving home after first of all, I was there for hours during the day. Then they like put all this like packing and stuff on the nose, and my I have this bandage that comes all the way down to here, soft tissue removal, but it was miserable. It was so miserable. They told me, I mean, that was like almost 10 years ago now that I had that. And they told me like, you'll get it again because you like the exposure that happened to your nose happened on a lot of other skin. So you will get it again. You've got to be really diligent. I go to the dermatologist every 6 months and get a full body, check. Um, it was really miserable. Like I do not look forward to having it recur. It was not good.
Yeah. Um, Thankfully, I have not had any because, as you know, I would completely jump the gun if I had a pimple. Well, it's melanoma. It's metastasized. And
Not
I'm a bit of a
melanoma.
hypochondriac, and sometimes
Oh
when I
my
listen
God.
to like nursing do you remember as when we were driving to the Outer Banks, I was like, I'm gonna listen to oncology podcasts, like oncology nurse podcasts, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to these that are about like the oncological emergencies because surely I like if I listen to one about leukemia, I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying of leukemia next week. Like
Yeah.
what, so I'm like increased intracranial pressure, no chance I have that. 20 minutes in, I'm like, Mom, I think I have a brain tumor.
Yeah. Karen will like send a text message. We have a sisters chat with Karen and Megan, our other sister, and me. And Karen will send a text in the group chat and she'll be like, my stomach has been hurting for 2 days now. I think I have Crohn's disease and appendicitis. And I'll be like, you probably have indigestion. Like, calm the heck down. And Megan is like very middle of the road. She can definitely be a hypochondriac also. And Megan will be like, it might be appendicitis. Is it in the lower right quadrant? And I'm like, what do you even know?
Well, and most of the time I am like, oh, I have some kind of cancer because I don't see the patients who come in to the hospital and leave because they had a simple appendicitis. I see the people who came in with 2 days of abdominal pain and they're like, oh, you have stomach cancer. So, I mean, anything that goes wrong in my body, I'm like, oh, it's one of my cancers.
Daughter actually is really bad about it too, as you know. And so, like, now Lucille will be like, she'll just be like walking around the house and she'll be like, I've had a headache for a day and a half. And I'm like, oh, that's like disappointing. Are you starting your period or are you dehydrated? And she's like, no, Mom, it's my brain tumor. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, she's been referring to this brain tumor since she was like 8. I just can't get it to stop.
When I was having that dizziness and had to go to the ER, and they were like, well, we could do a CT. And I was like, let's go ahead and do it. She comes in, she's like, there was nothing on the CT. I'm like, so just to clarify, there's no masses, abnormal tumor, nothing like that. And she's like, are you concerned about? Yeah, just always. It's fine.
I'm always worried about it. Oh my God.
Yes. Okay. So
Well, the good news is we have well prevented skin cancers, even though like we do have a genetic predisposition to it given our coloring and then there's some family history. But the good news is like that shouldn't be your concern overall.
no, I don't worry as much about skin cancer as, blood cancers, brain tumors, all that stuff. Last night I had a weird pain in my leg. I was like, I clearly have a soft tissue sarcoma.
Yeah.
Probably it was just like I need a little magnesium and had a muscle cramp.
Yeah, probably. Jeez.
So I would say that we both have aged better because, and even now, both of us, like the moisturizer that I use every day is always like 50. I always use one that has
Yeah.
SPF
Yeah,
in it.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like almost everything that I wear has an SPF in it. I never use a daily moisturizer that does not have SPF. I use a layer of SPF on top of the moisturizer. My foundation has SPF in it. I just bought a new setting spray. I don't know if I like it or not, but I bought a new setting spray that's actually an SPF setting spray as well. The thing about SPF setting sprays is it's not like unless you spray it like a huge layer, it's actually probably not adding protection. But in my case, because I've got my moisturizer has SPF in it, then I have a layer of SPF. Then I have my foundation has like it's only like 27, but my foundation has SPF in it. Some of my blushes have SPF in them. And then the final, setting spray has SPF in it. It's a shiny setting spray, and the other downside is when I spray it, if I get any on my mouth, which I do, and then I lick it, it does taste like sunscreen.
Oh.
So I'm not sure that I'm really a fan of it, but I just feel like
Well,
that final layer.
I like that because also you can refresh that easier. Like
Yes,
I put my sunscreen on first thing in the morning or what.
yes.
So if I like go out for lunch or whatever, I can't rely on that 50 that I put on this morning. That's worn off. So I like that idea.
Yeah, and for me, so that was kind of part of what appealed to me about it because for me, I live in Arizona, so the sun literally shines 345 days a year. Like it's almost always sunny here. And then secondly, I drive a lot for work. Like I might drive 2 to 4 hours a day, like at least one day a week. I drive more than 2 hours in the day. So all that windshield time, the sun is coming to me. So I do have I have a mineral sunscreen by Clinique that I apply over the top of my makeup. I'm not as good as doing at I should do it every single day. I don't, but I do use it often. And it's not terribly disruptive to the makeup. I do it anyway. But that was kind of my thought with this SPF setting spray. I was like, that's I just don't know if it's adding any protection if I don't spray like 30 pumps on my face. Like if I just like I do like 8 pumps. So I don't really know if that's actually adding protection without still adding the Clinique lotion. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it does. I mean, a little
I don't.
bit.
It certainly isn't hurting anything. I don't know if it's helping. And then my intention when I bought it, my intention was then I would like spray it all up and down my arms because I go through a lot of sunscreen on my arms during the days here as well. Love sleeveless dresses or sleeveless top. Like I love them. I don't wear them as much as I would like to because it's just like having to sunscreen this 4 more inches seems like it's not a big deal, but it is. And I do try to really be careful about the sun exposure. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not as careful. I'm careful on my face. I'm not as careful with my arms and stuff like that unless I know I'm going to be outside. But like if I just go to say like walk the dog when it's sunny or whatever, I don't always think of like, oh, I should put sunscreen on. So, um okay, before we finish though, I want to talk about your mascara.
So can you tell this mascara I really love. I feel like my lashes look longer and thicker. I think they look really good.
I do think
This
they look
is
really good.
Yeah, this might be the one. We'll see. But this is House Lab, Lady Gaga's makeup brand. I love the packaging. I have to say, like, I think her makeup is really sciency. And I know that she has really, first of all, no one doubted that Lady Gaga could put out an excellent line of makeup. If anybody knows makeup, it's Lady Gaga. And I love her for a million reasons. But her makeup is really like skincare infused. It's supposed to be really like at the cutting edge of skincare and makeup combined. And maybe, I know a lot of people are doing that now, but maybe she might have been one of the people at the forefront of that. I don't know. I couldn't say that for sure. But I've come into a couple of her products, but this mascara, I I love it. I think it gives good, like I'm trying to lean in. Like it gives good
Yeah.
separation. Like I said, I like my lashes to be fanned out. I think they have good length and the blackness is good. Like I don't feel like it's overpowering. It doesn't look like I have spiders on my eyes, but it is a good black. The brush is cool. I'm going to show you. Uh, so this is what the brush looks like. So you can see it's like thick on this
Yeah.
closer to the handle. It's thick and then it gets thin in the middle and then it's thick again. But then the tip of the brush is nice because I can get into these inner corners, which are not easy. But it changes the way, like the amount of product that gets laid down alters between that thick and thinner area. I love this formula. Like I super love it. I put it on the outer corner of the lower lashes as well, which I don't always put mascara on my lower lashes. It comes off pretty nicely at night. All I did today was I curled my lashes with my eyelash curler, which is just the clamping one. And honestly, I have a cheap one. It's not even a nice one. So I curled my lashes with that and then I applied this. I love this. I think it's a really good formula and I will definitely continue to use it on repeat. It'll probably become one of my like go-tos. I really like it.
Good. I love that.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I think that's it, right? Oh, I
I
was
think that's
gonna
all
give
we've
an
got.
yes, I was gonna give a quick update on where we're at. Oh, I just looked it up and I forgot to write it down. We have uh 20 subscribers on YouTube, 8 on Spotify. I can't see how many subscribers, but we did get an awesome review from
We did. It
on Apple Podcasts. What Apple Podcast or
was Apple Podcast
Apple
and it was
Podcast?
someone that we don't know.
Yeah, Karen T. Jen Nurse, which is not me. I know.
No,
But yeah, she left a review. Someone we don't know. That was like hugely exciting for us.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we have like 30 followers on TikTok. Instagram, you guys are a little slacking. We only have like 17, but still, I mean, it hasn't even been a month that we've been doing this.
It hasn't, has it?
No, I was thinking because I was like, we launched April the 2nd.
So I was out of town for work and Karen calls me and she's like, oh my God, like we have a review from someone who we've never met, who we don't know. And like we have this many, and she was giving me some of the stats. And I was like literally in my hotel, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. It was very cool. It was a very
Yeah.
cool moment for us.
Yes. So, I mean, again, like, sincerely thank you to everyone who is tuning in, interacting. We are still absolutely loving this.
Yeah.
So please continue to, follow us, comment, give us ideas, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to hear us talk about. There's really nothing is off limits.
Real. By the way, before I had finished the makeup thing, I wanted to say, like, your purple eye makeup is great. That black blouse that you're wearing looks really nice. You look really nice today.
Thank you. Um, I, yeah, I got up and like shower. I did watch the Eras tour with Lady this morning. So it
I
was,
love that, as you should.
yeah. She behaves better, I think. Dad thinks that maybe she hasn't had her little shock collar thing. So like when she misbehaves, we haven't been, which it doesn't hurt her. It's like just a little reminder
Right,
thing.
right.
And Dad was like, well, she's been very feisty. And Dad said last night, well, she hasn't had the collar on in 3 or 4 days. I think that's it. And I was like, well, the Disney Plus got messed up and we haven't watched the Eras tour in over a week. So this morning I was like, don't worry. We watched it. She's gotten her fill.
Love to hear
Yes.
it.
Yes. And you are wearing a Taylor shirt, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like officially licensed or whatever. I got it at Nordstrom's like a year and a half ago, but yeah, it says I bet you think about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor.
We love
She's
her.
got good lyrics. I mean, the poetry is,
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. All right, guys. So tune in next week and keep all the comments and everything coming. We're loving it.
yeah, thank you everybody.
All right. Talk to you later, Jen. Love you.
Okay, love you too, Karen. Bye.
Bye.